stream. It says it's streaming. Hooray! And I'm really rolling the dice today because the window is open next to me. So somehow I think a ice cream truck is going to find its way into my backyard.
I think it is.
Somebody's going to be mowing lawn. How hot is it in San Diego today?
It's actually really nice. What is it? It's 77 right now.
It's like 92 here.
Oh, yeah.
Balls
hot. Yeah, it was mid-90s today.
Yeah, like it's not okay.
It was really hot in Temecula for the wedding we went to.
Nice. It's always fun.
Alright.
Alright, you guys ready to kick this pig? Hi to everyone in chat. What's up? Apologies for being late. We all had things going on. Things and stuffs.
I was eating delicious food. It wasn't like an important thing. Well, it was important, but you know.
Yeah.
It was also delicious.
Why does it keep saying my bookshelf's going to collapse?
Some of your, from on the stream, I think it might be a trick of the eyes. Some of your shelves look bowed.
Yeah, they definitely are, but it's more...
No, they're totally... They're bowed, but it's no more than a half an inch in the middle.
Yeah.
I think the distance and the camera and the angle are making it like look way worse than it actually is.
The camera angle makes it look like it's sort of kinked to the side. I think the camera is like a little tilted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sitting on top of a cedar chest, and I was like, you know what, that's pretty solid, so...
Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere.
Certainly hope not. Although it'd be really entertaining for the stream.
Yeah.
Maybe rig that up next week.
Okay.
Right, yeah. Wait, what's going on back there?
Oh no! It's going crazy! Someone make a GIF out of this!
I'm sure that'll be made a GIF.
Knobs down at the docks. Wink. Alright. I don't think I have anything I need to oh my god, I'm so sunburned. Ow.
I can't believe in 2 weeks I played 4 games.
I have 5, barely.
I have like 6 or 7, but they're all like, eh. I played a little of everything.
Oh. Wow, that was uneventful.
Yes. All right.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Over there's Knobs.
What's up?
And returning is the Hannah.
Hello.
Let's dive right into it. Knobs, what you been playing?
Alrighty, well, the last 2 weeks, Monday Night Game Night, have been outstanding. Just kind of all sorts of craziness. Last week we opened up to randoms and massive team killing going on. It was kind of crazy. And neither team had enough teams to vote the random people off that were the troublemakers.
Amazing.
It was a 50-50 split every time. But no, that was a good time. But we did develop something new kind of going on. It was pre-game Peggle parties going before Monday night. So we were having a blast playing Peggle.
Very nice.
And it's like another game. Like I start off real hot, and then by the end of the games, I'm just awful. Like my Peggle flow is not very good.
Your Peggle mojo.
No, it's not nice. No.
That's my Soul Calibur flow, man. I'll load up Valdo first 3 or 4 matches. I just dominate everything after that. It's over.
Yeah.
Your Peggle mojo's letting you down.
Apparently, I'm real streaky. I'm a streaky Pegler. But yeah, so it was typical Monday night fun. A lot of battling back and forth. I think 2 weeks ago was crazy tank night. Like I think we were getting tanks in like the first 5 seconds of every map. It was just dumb.
Nice.
But all in all, a good time. I mean, we were a little late on people last week, but hopefully we'll pick that up more for this week coming up.
Yeah.
I played a ridiculous amount of vegetating out to Luminous. I beat my high score, and I kind of put it down.
Yeah.
You know how much I beat my high score by?
Oh, God.
1 million?
No.
No. 500,000?
20 points.
I knew you wouldn't ask if it wasn't either real high or real low.
20 points, and like it was one of those ones where my brain just shut down, and I'm like, what am I? I'm not playing Clear the Blocks. What's happening? What's going on? I was so upset because I was having this great run. I got through my two roadblock maps, or things that were going real fast. I hit the slow one. I cleared everything out, and then the fast lime green and dark brown one came up, and it was just. And on the second playthrough, it's like I think like 5% faster, and I'm like. Oh, what? No, I didn't want to do it. I overspun here. No, what? Oh, God!
It's all going wrong.
Your brain just can't process it.
No, especially after I didn't follow my advice, only doing 100,000 a night. But no, that was on probably a 3-hour session where I just kind of petered out right there. Like I just full block shutdown. Like I was just like I couldn't concentrate, and I just sat there and stared at the finish screen for like 20 minutes, just like. 20 points.
Well, the Charlie Brown music's playing in your head.
I couldn't think fast. I was done. Like I think I went to bed. It was like 9 o'clock.
Just like tapping out.
Like apparently this doesn't work up here anymore, so I'm out.
Yeah.
But the game I probably played the most of this week, last couple weeks, has been Unreal Tournament 2K4.
Yep, that's the one.
So I forgot to write down the last number. Yeah, so I'm already through the entire tournament, and
What's wrong with you?
I don't know because I played since I reinstalled that game like 2 weeks ago. I played over 40 hours of Unreal.
It's intervention time.
Not counting, that game just does it to me. Like, just chasing those streaks and those, like, I don't know. And
this is the same problem you had with Quake 3.
Oh, stop it.
I gotta finish the single player, man.
No, it was, single player.
Then I gotta do it again on the harder mode.
Yeah. Well, according to my analysis of everyone in the TVGP game night Steam games list, Quake 3 is one of our big ones, so...
Of course it is. It's one of the best.
No,
you can play as an eyeball. Come on. How can that go bad?
No, it was. I do love that eyeball. It's one of my favorite looking character models. But no, I was playing through it. I'm playing on whatever's above experience. It might be skilled. I mean, it is tough. I mean, you have to be on point.
This stuff is getting real.
It's serious.
Unreal.
Every match is like. I forgot. But no, we've been playing that for. Thursday night game night last probably 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
And we've been playing Assault a lot. That seems to be a fan favorite.
It really is.
Bombing Run was a blast.
Really?
Like, I've never played that with people. Like I only played that like in the tournament thing. But we were playing with people and everyone's like, "What do we do?" I'm like, hee 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 hee. Cause my favorite thing to do is get the ball, and if someone's running to kill me, I throw them the ball so they can't shoot me, and I kill them and pick it back up. That's a blast because I get to play translocators.
Oh yeah.
And man, we played some Assault, and we got rolled by the PC players.
Jeez.
I mean, absolutely rolled.
Was that this week or was it the week before?
We did it this week too. It was the same map, and we could not hold the position closest to us, and that we just couldn't stop them.
Yeah.
But then eventually, I think they flipped sides, and for some reason, if you're at the top of that map, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. They're laid out exactly the same. We played another one, and it's got some vehicles in it that I've never seen before. One's the Cicada, where you hold the left click down, and it loads up like a dozen missiles, and it just like hellfires on one spot.
Like some Maycross business.
Then there's a buggy that's got a howitzer strapped to the back of it. Like I'm driving with it, and I shoot the gun, and my whole Jeep and stuff goes flying back. I was like, whoa. But it's really good. This thing, like once I figure out how to use it, it's amazing. It's literally raining death. You left click and you have to hold it, and it shoots out this one projectile. It goes like third person. You follow it out over the battlefield, and then it stops. Like once you release it, it deploys this little hovering guidance system that you can use your WAS controls that start dropping mortar fire on it, like over mountains and stuff. It is really cool. Like, I didn't even know that vehicle existed. It was kind of a small map for some big tanks, man. Some of the big tanks are, like, slow. Like, there's one person in it, and you're just kind of putting along. Everything else is getting taken around you. You have enough time to drive it from your base all the way to the final base. By that time, it's half dead already. Like, it's I don't know. Maybe you just need more people riding around with you. But the one was just, it was slow as dog ass. Like, it was just slow. But no, like, I really, that game really sucked me back in. Like, that frantic frag pace. Man, I was having fun. I think I got a holy-esque kill streak on with was rolling around the tank. Like, I was totally spamming their base too.
Nice.
Like, I was way off, and this is just like, I know their base is over there. I'm just gonna keep launching rockets. And I've seen double kill, multi kill, ultra kill, mega kill. Like, it was the best. It just scratches at happy centers in my brain. But like, I got through all the assault, the bombing run, capture the flag. Capture the flag is really good in that too. Yeah. Those maps are laid out so well.
That's one of, I really don't like capture the flag in most competitive shooters, but I remember really, really liking that. I agree with you. I think it's because of the map. The map layout. It's not like, oh, here's the standard deathmatch maps, and I don't know, flags are somewhere in it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, each section is, I think one of the double domination maps are really cool too, where you have a spot at the bottom and a spot at the top. But there's this big TV screen of the shot of the node on the bottom, so you can see the mayhem that's going on underneath you. Yeah. And a couple of the capture flag maps have the same thing, where it kind of has like screenshots of things running by. It's set up like a Smash TV. Like, it feels like, it really feels like you're in like a gladiator's like arena doing stuff. It's one thing that I don't think has been captured in multiplayer in a long time.
No.
Yeah.
Like, since I haven't found like anything that's that elaborate of maps. Like even, I mean, the assault maps, I mean, are so intricate you can get lost in them.
Yeah, and I have.
Yeah, me too. And I'm playing the game a lot. But no, it's all around just a blast, and like the turnout for Thursday night game night is like anywhere between 10 to 15. And I think we had 16 people the other night. We're playing human versus human, and it's a blast.
It is really fun. I think, and the great part about UT2K4 is, like, I think even people like Knobs who've been playing it for years and years are finding new stuff. Like, when we discovered we could heal those turrets on that one assault map with the link gun, everyone was like,
idea.
What?
We had no idea. It totally backfired in our faces.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, we had just discovered as they were destroying one. It's like, hey, we can heal these turrets with link gun. Guess what? We didn't kill one of those things when we were attacking, because they were
with like 2 minutes left, we got one of them, and then we started moving on to the next one, and we got to.
I remember doing a leap of faith over the guardrail, and there was a daisy chain of 4 guys linked up to healing these things like instantly.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, in Onslaught, like, linking up is crucial to keeping nodes. I didn't realize how much of an advantage it was to have at least 2 people generating your points of capture, because it goes literally twice as fast just with 2 people. With 3 people, it's like almost instant. Yeah. And it's a little thing of there's all these little icons and things that I've never noticed in games in this game before. Maybe just older eyes. I don't know. Maybe I'm just more perceptive. But it's a blast, and you know what? If we can get more people to come out, I mean, because some of the death matches we do later, I think we turned gravity off on one.
Big head mode was one of the
we had
other
low
ones.
grabs, yeah.
Nice.
Like all the little factors. Like, I would love to do an insta give match.
Those are so crazy.
I've been playing that in, like, 'cause I've been stealing players from other teams in my tournament. Like, I just go insta give blood rights, and this is the character I want, and then just light them up. Because it's instant. Everything's an instant kill. And it goes so quick.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can go on all day about Unreal, but it is still. I still think it's first-person shooter perfection. Like, everything about that game just works. Like, I don't think there's really a bad weapon. I mean, the shield gun. Like, I've killed people with shield guns. I did that a couple times rolling around just to see if I could do it.
It's like getting the killing people with a punch in Quake 2.
Yeah,
Where it's
Yeah.
like, come on, you really messed up if you're getting killed by a punch.
yeah, you really weren't paying
The
attention.
Gauntlet, I think they called it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Gauntlet or the other one had like that weird. In UT99 had the spike that had the little like their melee thing was that little like you hold it up and go think it was a little,
Yeah.
like popped out and had
It's
like
like
little
the
blood
cattle
thing.
prod from Worms.
Yeah, it's dumb, but it's crazy fun. I'd love to get a 99 match going just to see where like see how well that holds up.
Yeah.
Because UT2K4, I think will hold up for probably the next 10 years on top of it right
Oh,
now.
Yeah.
It's still it's 10 years old what this year or something. It is fantastic.
Yeah. What else
What do
you
you got,
been playing?
That's it.
All right, Hannah.
2 weeks,
you
4
got?
games.
All right, I've got a smorgasbord here. So let's start with I've been playing a little bit of 10 Million on Android.
Oh yeah.
And man, I really like this game, but I really don't like the way those blocks slide at all. Like it really
Yeah.
pulls me out of it. Like you've got to like slide that whole strip. It just doesn't seem to work right on my touchscreen. I don't know if that's like a device thing or if that's like a Android thing or if that's whatever that is. But
Was your device
device.
supported?
Yeah, it is. It's a Galaxy Nexus. It better be. I mean, it's one of Google's flagship phones right now. So, like, even still, it's only like a year and a half old. So, but it's still fun. It still works. But I'm not going to sit there and play it for hours and hours because I'll be like, no, I didn't want to do that. No, don't slide
Yeah.
that way. Slide down.
Have you tried it on PC?
I haven't yet.
No, I haven't either. I heard it's pretty good.
Okay, I might have to check that out.
I think it's only a couple bucks on Steam.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, it's not. It's graphically. I mean, you can't really justify.
Yeah, you're not really
Yeah,
writing
no.
home about that game.
Yeah, and Atari graphics maybe.
Yeah.
I also, speaking of mobile games, I'm just gonna slide through these. I started playing this game called Mini Golf Matchup, which is
Ooh.
exactly what it sounds like. It is a mini golf what is it? Asynchronous multiplayer game, and it's really fun.
That's
I've-
kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, and the more you think about it, the more like, yeah, mini golf makes perfect sense because your only control is like tap the ball, pull back, and let it fly, and then just let physics take care of the rest.
Yeah.
And they add little things like you can get bonus points by collecting these little gems that are scattered throughout the course, and there's like one big gem that's worth like 2,000 points that you want to try and grab every time you go through. But one of my favorite things is if you get a hole in one on the course you're on, the next hole you score on, it doubles your score on that next hole. So it gives you like a multiplier. I don't know if it goes beyond like ×2, but like you can get it multiple times in a row.
That's kind of
So
interesting.
you can just like dominate. Like if you know how to like get the hole in one on a course, you can just dominate somebody. Be like,
Yeah.
okay, I got 10,000 on this one. Next one, I'm gonna get 18,000 on it, and just keep going and going and going. It's really really entertaining, and it's got a little bit of the it's got like the freemium model. So you can unlock courses and all that sort of stuff through the in-game like currencies. They have like gems and coins and stars, and it's like, all right, whatever, I don't care. You've got like 3 or 4 basic courses that you can play. It's still a ton of fun.
Yeah.
But I've just been kind of playing that, in between just everything else. Just kind of like, oh, hey, I have another little matchup. Let's play it. The other mobile game I've been playing is called Slydris, Slydris, and it is it's a really interesting game because it's Tetris, but it doesn't have like the standard Tetraminos. It's horizontal, so you have like I think it's a 10? It's like a 9 by something grid or like a 10 by something grid. So it's like 10 wide, and your longest piece is going to be 3 of those boxes. So you've got like 3s, 2s, and 1s, and they fall from the top, and then you have to like slide, and then they kind of shift and slide down. And your whole goal is to clear lines, and it's fun, but I haven't quite mastered like the theory behind like, okay, where should I be moving these around at? Should I be starting at the bottom? Should I be trying to clear the bottom, or should I focus on the top so that I don't clear out? Because like one little one can like just start stacking stuff up on you. really quickly, depending on where it is. And if you move the right piece at the right time, you can get this really nice cascade, but I haven't figured out quite why or how it works. I just kind of move stuff to where I think it should go. There's no real strategy yet, so... but it's a fun little game. I think it was on sale for like 99 cents on the Play Store, and I was like, might as well. Everyone's looking at like the Android subreddit, everyone's talking about it, so figured I'd give it a try. I don't quite get the hype yet, but I think maybe it just hasn't clicked for me.
Right.
So I'm going to give it a little more time. Another mobile game I've been playing that I got a while back and I never really played was Rayman Jungle Run.
Oh yeah, I heard good things about that.
It's really cool. It's really well put together. I got to give props to Ubisoft for getting that off the ground because it's just... I'm trying to think of a way to... It's sort of like a side-scrolling temple run.
Oh, so it's like an endless runner?
Yeah, little...
Yeah.
Like...
You don't even have to flick. Like, you have to, like, tap to jump and then, like, tap and hold to do his little, like, fly thing. And there's, like, each set of levels has its own...
I don't know. I'm just watching
the live stream, folks.
Each set of levels has it's assigned to a skill that Rayman has, and one of the things, the first one's jump, the next one's fly, and I don't even know what the other ones are, but they're, all tied to whatever skill you're supposed to be using throughout that set of levels. That's really fun. I had a ton of fun with it last night because I, went over to my fiance's sisters and they were just chilling out watching TV. I was like, well, I'm going to load this up and play this for a little while. And, next thing I know, we were heading home, so I played a bunch of it.
You know what that reminds me of a game I miss? I want to play the Maw again. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yeah.
That's a good one.
That was a great game. I think it has some DLC out for it, too, that we never went back to.
Yeah. Just the whole Rayman look just kind of spawned that in my brain.
Yeah.
Let's see, what other random Android games did I try recently? Oh, yeah, I tried... so they have an endless runner out for the new Despicable Me movie, Despicable Me 2. And it's you're one of the little minion dudes, and you're running through, like, Drew's lab and then through the suburbs, and then it's really... for a game based on a movie, even like just a simple little mobile game, it's really well put together. And if you like Temple Run or anything like that, it's really fun. And I'm pretty sure it was free. So, I mean, check it out. It's really... I had a great time with it for like the little bit that I played it.
Did you check out that Zaxxon one?
Haven't tried that one yet.
It looks good? Really cool. It's the same thing, but man, is those inputs complicated once that speeds up.
Oof.
Yeah, that sounds like a Zaxxon game.
Yeah.
And the last, Android game I played this week for like about 5 minutes before my brain exploded was Frozen Synapse.
Yeah. I'm really happy that's out on mobile and tablets.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I looked at the UI and I just shut it down. I was like, my brain can't do this right now.
The tutorial is actually really good, but by the time I got done with it and like started, because I played it way back when it came out on PC.
Yeah.
When I
remember you talking about it.
Yeah, I finished the tutorial and I started like my first real match, and within 2 turns, my whole team was dead. I was like, well, okay. See you later.
I guess that's how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, like, because I really would like to. I'm a little jealous of iOS users right now because you guys have XCOM, and I would kill for that game on the go. I would never stop playing it.
Yeah, it seems like it's really good.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, well, let's see what Frozen Synapse like. I got it in the most recent Humble Bundle, so downloaded that and installed all the files and loaded up the UI. I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Loaded up the tutorial, and it just started throwing terms and stuff. I'm like, oh, whoa, okay. We're going to do this when I have time and a brain.
Yeah. Dedicate a whole day to that business.
Yeah. When I got that kind of time, which I don't at all. But yeah, that was that's Android games I've been playing just because that's the quickest thing I've had access to lately. But I've also been playing some Lumines, much like Knobs. I finally broke 1 million.
Yeah.
I think I got like 1,130 some odd thousand, and I was so happy. I was like, yes, I noticed it, and then I died immediately, just bricked out. And, can't pay attention.
I'm at 1.3 and change. And it's just getting back to that point. It's literally exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play that for like maybe 15 minutes before I go to bed. I'll get like 100,000 or whatever amount of points I can get in that time, and then just let it down. Because if I keep going after that, I'll wreck myself. I'm too tired to even down.
So you were making sure that you checked yourself, right?
Before I.
No, I do the same thing. Like I just don't. I don't recognize that point where I'm just done. Right, I know failure's coming right around the corner. If I keep playing, I just keep running into that brick wall.
It's luminous hubris.
Well, and you know you're done when you're sitting there in bed and you've got the Vita above you, and then you just drop it on your face. I've done that 4 times, and I can
just pause it, and hit the power button. Just put it aside.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna record this, and you're gonna be missing chunks of teeth.
Yeah, the Vita's got some heft to it, man. Like it's okay when you do it with a phone because it's like, oh, you can dodge that, but
you're awake now when that hits you in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Luminous, and then of course UT2K4 back on what was that, like the 13th was when I was on last, and
way back when.
Man, yeah, back in the day, so to speak. That game is just I've never had more fun with a multiplayer shooter. Like Monday Night Game Night's fun, but man, UT2K4 is just it's so good.
I mean, the thing, the difference is, I think because there's only 8 people on Monday night, and it's kind of more of an intimate experience, and it's controlled carnage, where like UT, it is literally mayhem.
Okay. Yeah,
it's mayhem.
And and I'm not going to rail on it. You know, Knobs covered all the major points, but man, if you can make it out for Thursday night game night, do it. There's been a lot of push in the forums to get it moved towards a less regular game schedule, so not always UT, which I'm totally fine with. I actually put together a spreadsheet that kind of lists out all the games that everybody in the group has, and we're going to try and
play Quake and Spirit Destiny.
Yeah. But there's some ideas like maybe breaking out into smaller groups, like doing 4-player games of one game or a couple different games, stuff like that. But man, if we end up going that way with Thursday night game night, we're gonna have to find a UT night then.
Yeah,
the amount of fun that I've had, like it resurrected that game in a way. That game's very close to my heart, and it resurrected it to, oh my god, this is like my favorite thing ever again.
Yeah,
the Phoenix has risen.
Yeah.
But another game I decided to load up was Warframe. It's a free-to-play like third-person shooter on Steam, and it's something I've looked at a couple times and been like, man, I should really check that out. And I only played the tutorial. I think it was like Friday or like Wednesday last week or something. I don't know. I was sitting at my computer and just like, you know what? I should install Warframe. I should try out Warframe. Wow, this is really cool. Because you have basically you have like a suit that gives you certain abilities, and you have like the basic battle suit, and then you have like the couple other ones. It seems like one of those games I'm going to need to read like a primer on before I really jump into. But I mean, if anyone out there wants to like check it out and try it out, just hit me up on Steam if you see me on, because I really want to get into a game with like people in that game, because it looks really fun and really interesting. And it looks like something I can get really sucked into. So let's go down that rabbit hole together, huh?
Forums assemble.
Yeah, right. And let's see. I have also been playing a bunch of Wild Arms on my PS Vita because I felt that itch of like I need a good turn-based JRPG, and I need something I'm familiar with.
JRPG?
Yes, the PS1 JRPG, Wild Arms. One of my favorite of that era, and it's one of those games that got overshadowed by a bunch of the games that came out around it. It came out like 3 months before Final Fantasy VII.
I was about to say, I remember people saying like, "Wild what? Oh, Final Fantasy VII? Sure."
Yeah,
yeah.
And
Exactly.
Wild Arms is supposed to be great, and that was one of the ones I regrettably missed too.
Yeah,
I heard good things.
If you got an extra $6, I mean, it still kind of holds up. I mean, it's not the greatest battle system, but it's serviceable.
It's gonna look like hot poops, like it's an early PS1 game. So
yeah, the battle scenes are they're 3D in the way that Tron was 3D,
with quotation marks around it.
Yeah, but like the sprite work is fantastic. The actual overworld and the sprites are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the big thing about it is I play it for the story. Like I play it akin to reading like my favorite novel over again.
Yeah.
So I abuse. There's an item glitch in the game that has never been patched out in any of the versions, and I just abuse that because you have these 4 items. They're apples that literally just directly raise your stats. And they're like really rare items throughout the game, but if you do a certain sequence, it's not even like a specifically difficult sequence of events in a battle. You use one healing item on 2 of the characters, and the third character, you can rearrange your inventory during battle, which is one of the cool things. So like the 2 characters use the healing item. The third character swaps the slot of the healing item with the item you want to duplicate. And then you defend, and you use the healing items, but it doesn't actually remove them from your inventory. And then you have 255 of whatever item you swapped in.
Ta-da!
So, and if you do that with all these, they're apples. It's a hardy apple raises your defense, power apple raises your attack power, agile apple raises your response or agility, right. And mystic apple raises your magic. And you just, oh man,
that's
you
totally going to be a band.
No,
name.
not the magic apple.
I'm going to totally name my next band Mystic Apple.
Mystic Apple, yeah. But yeah, and I'll do that for like maybe a half hour, and then just plow through the rest of the game.
Yeah,
because it becomes the combat becomes a joke at that point, and I really just play it for the story because it's a really cool story. It's really fun. But if you ever get a chance to pick that game up, do it. It's really well worth it, and good characters, good story, and just a good thing to come back to. It's one of those I guess you say comfort food games.
Yeah.
That my friend Tony really loved that game growing up, and then I didn't get around to it until I was in like my early 20s, and then when I played it, I was just like, "Ooh, this is awesome," and it stuck with me. So I've been playing a bunch of that. I also played a bunch more Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and that game keeps getting crazier and just keeps being awesomely fun. I mean, it's insane. I'm so glad it's not canon in the Metal Gear storyline because that is off the deep end.
Yeah,
crazy.
Like all the way platinum dumb.
All the way platinum. Yes, all the way platinum. Yes. And that game is tons of fun, and I can't wait to unlock some more of the costumes. I'm so glad that the first costume I unlocked was full-on Android Raiden. In a, what are they called, the serape, the ponchos, and the hat,
a sombrero.
Yes,
awesome,
and it's fantastic.
I need to get that. I like how I'm excited about like sombreros. What?
Oh man!
Oh man! I gotta go.
Podcast over.
Yeah.
And it's goofy fun, and it's set in the Metal Gear universe, but it feels like a Metal Gear universe. What if? More than. It's like the what ifs, like Marvel comics. It's like, what if the Punisher killed Daredevil? Ooh, crazy!
No.
Actually, that one's kind of plausible. But anyway, and that's just man. And I'm not good at the combat, so I kept it on easy. But that combat is really, really fluid, really fun, and really, really satisfying. Like when you actually get a guy down, you get into that blade mode, and you can just start chopping him up. That's more fun than it should be.
Well, it's the best that it shows you how many pieces you've hacked them into, and that number just keeps getting really big.
Yeah, if you chop it at the right spot, it goes from like 500 to 1,000 in like 3 chops.
Yeah, it's just like, this is the best. I love this stupid game.
Oh, just chopping people into a fine mist. It's fantastic.
Yep.
And I can't wait to get through more of it because I think I just got to like the peak of the storyline where it's like, oh, you thought you were coming after this guy, but here's the real bad guy. Here he comes.
Metal Gear. Metal Gear.
And all the different weapons and stuff. I was not expecting to be like this engrossed in just like, oh man, I got to level up these weapons.
Yeah,
I really got. I gotta get some points.
That's it. It sort of seems like the first time you played the first Ninja Gaiden on the original Xbox. When like they start giving you other weapons, and you're like, oh, it's not just the sword. Oh, look at all this stuff I have to do. Okay, I'm gonna play this game forever.
Ooh, nunchucks.
Well, and that was when we did that, especially when we found out you could level up that wood sword.
Yeah, it
To
turns
the
into a giant
unlabored
ore.
flawlessness.
Yeah.
It is this ore of death.
Yeah. God, that game was good.
That was really good.
Let's see, what else do I
I think they
have?
peaked out too much with that first Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. Just topped out of the gate.
I mean, you couldn't make a better one.
Yeah.
You really
Yeah.
can't. They failed
keep trying.
twice.
And let's see, and the last game I played this week was Gravity Rush.
Oh.
How
on
is
the Vita.
that?
It is really cool. I love the concept of that game. Just you can defy gravity and then land on a wall and start running around the level.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
I started that and I got like 15 minutes in before I was like, I am really tired and I cannot figure... There's a cat in it, so I like it, but
Yeah.
no, I'm pretty pooped.
Yeah. No, I got through probably about the first 2 hours of it, and I'm having a blast with it. It's really cool to be able to just like, all right, I'm gonna hit the the R button, and I'm just gonna float, and I'm gonna tap on that thing all the way over there, and hope I make it.
Yeah, you like
I want to
rocket over
explore
it.
this world. Yeah, because literally gravity shifts, and you start falling that way.
Yeah.
And just running, and like I can see this going towards a very interesting, like, puzzly platformer that I'm not great at but still love. And, because the controls are still a little, it's not very intuitive or fluid. It definitely has to be learned. You have to sit down and like be willing to go, okay, I need to tap here and learn how the camera works and all that stuff. And I think the one thing that throws me is that I'm very active when I play the Vita, and it's got that tilt sensor for the camera when you're floating. So I gotta shut that off or something, because I'll move the joystick and then it'll be going over here, and I'm like, no, I want you over here.
Were you like a little kid? You're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of am.
Maybe
It's a little awkward on the commute to work, man.
someone has to videotape that.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone has.
So man
It'll
on the
show up
bus
on
is
YouTube.
very into his video games.
Oh man, but that game is. I'm looking forward to playing more of that because it's really, really cool, and it seems to have an interesting story so far. It's amnesia, and then find out what you're doing where. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing this week.
All right, so it's that time of year again where I pull out the DS and I pull out my Game Boy Advance copy of Final Fantasy V for the 4-job Fiesta. Man, so if anyone remembers from last year, I was unable to finish the game because of the 4 jobs that I got together. This year I managed to get a much worse combo. So I got a combo of so my first job was White Mage, which is fine because I have healing, but it took me forever to get through those boss battles.
Didn't use a freelancer?
No, I decided to go pure. So I think you kind of still can, even though it's against the rules. But it's not as hard as it sounds if you have some patience. The second one I got was Red Mage. So that's a combination of White Mage and Black Mage, but they do both very poorly.
Yeah.
And the third one I got was Bard, which...
Oh.
Come on.
Bard always equals fail.
It will help me a lot now that I'm starting to get their songs. They only have 8 songs you learn through the game. But if you get... There's a bunch of stuff you can do to kind of break the game, because one of the early songs you get stops all enemies. And it works against a couple of bosses, actually. But the last one I got was Dancer, which... Sweet Christmas. This is the worst party ever. And so for anybody that hasn't played Final Fantasy V, Dancer is one of the most frustrating classes because can barely use any armor. It can barely use... It uses daggers. It can equip the ribbon, which, for those who have not played Final Fantasy games...
that's like a requirement.
It negates all status effects. So you'll never get any status effect for any reason whatsoever. So that's great. But the thing is, its main skill is dance, of course. And it does a random... dance. So some of them will steal... MP, some of them will steal health, some will confuse the enemy. And the best one is called Sword Dance, which just does 1,600 damage. And most of your attacks right now are doing like 300. So if you can get this to come out, it's going to be a bunch of damage. And I'm totally ignoring you jerks. The problem is it's incredibly rare, and I don't have anybody else in my party that can really do any damage. What's been kind of fun about it so far is what I really like about the Job Fiesta is you get a combination of characters, and usually 1 out of the 4 you haven't used before. Like, oh, congratulations, you got a chemist. Oh, by the way, you learn that breaks the game, and you can glitch the final boss and kill it in one shot. Like, oh, I got a geomancer. Oh, and now I can, clear my way out of a bunch of dungeons without really doing anything.
Yeah.
And I've kind of had a lot of fun so far finding out how I can break enemies and break bosses to kind of not really glitch the game, but kind of exploit some of the weaknesses that the bosses have, their innate weaknesses. And every year I play, even though I've been getting a lot of really bad groups, I really respect this game for. We're now finding, like 20 years later, people that are doing the 4-Job Fiesta are finding new and different ways to combine classes to really exploit the stuff that's been built into the game. Like every once in a while there'll be a really tough boss, and somebody will say like, "Oh, that boss isn't heavy." There's this hidden stat in the game whether an enemy is heavy or not. And if an enemy is not heavy, you can the dancer can flirt with it and stop it completely for the rest of the fight. And a couple of really hard bosses are non-heavy. All the other bosses are heavy, but a couple ones aren't. So you can just stop it in its tracks right off the gate and just chip away at its health with physical attacks, and it just never touches you. Just really, really crazy stuff that you can, like. There's this one really tough boss, Atmos, and he, which is not from Fooly Cooly for anyone thinking.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, that would be awesome. But it's susceptible to sleep. So the thing that this boss does is it pounds your party until one person dies and then doesn't do anything. So it's throwing comets at you until one person dies, and then it starts pulling one of your party members towards it. And once your party member touches it, it vanishes it from the party and sends it to another dimension, and then hammers you with comet again.
Yeah.
So
I had a lot of trouble with that one last year.
Yeah, it's always pulling, but as soon as you can sleep it, if you have a black mage, a red mage, anything that inflicts sleep, you inflict sleep, and like every Final Fantasy game, magic doesn't wake someone up from sleep. So just start pelting them with whatever sort of magic you got. Or I found out this year, dances don't count as physical attacks. So I was just sword dancing him into oblivion. So a boss that is typically incredibly, incredibly difficult took me 20 minutes worth of defense and dances, and then he was dead. So, that's what I really like about the 4-Job Fiesta is the Final Fantasy V is really easy, and it's also kind of short. It's maybe, if you play it, traditionally, it's maybe 30 hours. Yeah. But this way, you're really encouraged to kind of poke and prod and push the game further than you typically would, and then you find out like, oh, man, this game is kind of, you can play this really however you want with almost any combination of classes, and you're probably going to finish the game.
Yeah.
So I can really respect that for a game that came out on the Super NES in like 1994. Wow. It's incredible.
Real long in the tooth.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about the Fiesta is I can revisit one of my favorite, it's like one of my top 3 favorite Final Fantasy games every year and have a totally different a totally different experience. And now
Yeah.
that it's out on iOS, pretty much everybody can play it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of looks like hot garbage, and the font is really nasty, but it's Final Fantasy V, and they fixed a lot of the things that are really dumb from the original versions. Like when you would go to buy spells, you would buy a spell and you would have no idea whether or not you had it or not. And this time you buy it and it grays it out of the store.
Nice.
So before you try and buy a spell and they say, "Hey, don't you already have that?" And it's like, "Well, I don't know. I never use stop. I don't even have a time mage. Like, what do you want from me?" But the weird thing about it is it has 8-way directional movement instead of 4, which just blows my mind in a classic RPG. And I still, I'm like running off of cliffs. I'm walking in pits. Like I don't. My stupid dinosaur brain can't get around it. But yeah, I think for anybody that's really interested, for those that are interested, I will not say how to gain access to this game. But if I were to vote for what the best versions are, the Game Boy Advance version is easily the best.
Yeah.
Also the rarest. So, great.
Good luck.
Close second after that is the Super NES one. The classic translation is still out there, the fan translation, which sort of started this whole fan translation thing. The PlayStation 1 version is just a disaster.
Hot garbage.
It has load times. It looks terrible. The translation is easily one of the worst translations this side of like an NES game. Like it's so bad. And sort of matching up with it is the iOS version. They really screwed up the visuals. But they kept the great translation, and they screwed up the font. So, but they have achievements. So who knows?
Yay!
Yeah. Get the Game Boy Advance version. It's the best, and you can toggle running for everyone, so the game becomes very, very fast. If you haven't played Final Fantasy V before, don't play the Fiesta for your first time. Flat out. Unless you're really struggling with finishing the game. Fiesta's really tough, and there are combinations where you're not going to be able to finish the game. So
yeah, I ran into that last year, and that was actually my first time playing FF5. I still had fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I really want to do it this year, but man, I just don't see it happening. I have so much to do.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm still playing that, and I was, for those of you on the live stream, you can see my copy is running right now with the famous 4 crystals fight, which is the worst with a party of magical users. But yeah, if I get past this fight, the rest of the game is usually pretty easy. So fingers crossed that I can actually finish it again this year, and then I'll try another. There's like 6 different types of runs you can do this year, so I think I'm gonna try a more difficult version of this run where you get any of the crystals jobs when you get a new job from the Twitter bot.
Okay.
So that could turn out. One person last year got a white mage and 3 berserkers. And still managed to finish the game. I do not know
impressive.
how, but kudos to them, because
constant healing.
that sucks.
Yeah.
Played a couple other games. Fired up Darksiders 2 again.
Ooh.
I was sort of looking at my collection. I didn't want to play anything, and I was sort of waiting for some newer games to come out. I was sort of sick of all the games I was playing, and I thought, let me fire up Darksiders 2. I had started a New Game Plus last time, and I was really enjoying it, even though I hadn't really gotten to the first dungeon. Man, that game is still stupid good. I just, especially on New Game Plus, where you have all your, super leveled up possessed weapons, you got all these crazy powerful armor pieces where you're regenning health and you're regenning all this stuff left and right. It's really fun. I remembered why I put it at the top of my top 10 last year. Is I like being in that world. I just like playing that game. There's not a lot of games lately where I can just say playing that game is super fun.
Yeah.
And everything else is really great, and man, Death's voice is super good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, so...
That game, I mean, that game, just the way that character moves and maneuvers around that world, it's just, everything is just spot
a
on.
really solid combo system, really great dungeons, super smart puzzles. Just like the first one, it's like the Zelda game we never got.
Yeah.
Especially since the last couple of Zelda games have been hot messes.
Yeah.
And Microsoft, in their generousness for their Xbox Live faithful members, made Fable 3 free for who knows how long. So I decided, why not punish myself? And why not download Fable 3? I can at least play it if it's free. I don't want to pay any money for it, but let's try it out. Maybe they improved a lot of stuff from Fable 2. They really didn't.
No, they did not at all.
The one thing I really, really wouldn't mind playing this game, because they cleaned up a lot of stuff that I really got frustrated by, like the basics of the combat. A lot of that stuff is much snappier. The ranged attacks are a lot better to use. It plays a little bit better this time. I really, really hate walking in this game. Like, I haven't played a game in a long time where the basic movement of your character is so horrifically broken. Like, in games there has to be a dead zone for character movement, because there has to be a dead zone for your analog stick. And a lot of this has come up with... I've been reading a lot of interesting articles surrounding the Ouya, and seeing developers deal with an analog stick for the first time. But the dead zone is so huge that there's almost no walking. So, like, you can't push your stick a little bit and your character sort of plods
Takes a
along.
step.
Yeah, like taking very generic steps. You know how an analog stick is supposed to be used, from stepping to jogging to running to, like, full bore running. It's basically, like, half of your analog stick is dead. And then once you push it all the way, your character is off on this stable clip. But when you try and move, like, you try and turn to try and just turn your character to make, like, one of those really soft, smooth movements, not happening. Just some of the worst control movement ever. And it's just, there's no leveling system. You don't really get experience. You just get these stupid guild seals that every once in a while you can pop into this road to rule, they call it, and you open these chests and then your stats have increased. Hooray. Or you unlock new dyes, or you unlock the ability to purchase buildings. Why don't I have this at the beginning? I don't have the money at the beginning, so I can't buy the buildings. But when I do, I should be able to do that.
Immediately, not after you unlock something.
Yeah, like, it doesn't... What I've been thinking as I played through it before I gave it up, because I'm done with that, is it feels like a free-to-play game that they never made free-to-play. So, like, I could see, like...
That's a glowing review.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey, if you pay $1, you can unlock this chest for buying buildings. How's that sound? Or, like, pay $5 and you can get a whole bunch of guild seals. Maybe you can level up. Whatever. Or, like, wait 2 hours and you'll get 5 guild seals. It just doesn't... Everything about it is bad and wrong. Just flat out. I have never understood where the love for the Fable series is from people other than those who have never played an RPG.
Yeah, I can see that.
If it's your first RPG, it's probably mind-blowing the incredible amount of things you can do.
Yeah.
But even for free, please don't. And I've heard the back half of that game is just an unmitigated disaster.
Yeah.
Because I get the whole gist of the game is you're getting together this band of people to take your kingdom over after you've been ousted. And I've heard that the last half of the game is you ruling the kingdom basically from your throne and just doing stuff from there, which so
That doesn't sound fun at all.
no.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'll skip that guy.
And as much as I enjoyed the first Fable. I had a lot of fun with it. It was just a simple, dumb game that I had no expectations of, and everyone, had these massive expectations of. I think I got lucky on that one.
Yeah.
Because I didn't pay attention to the marketing. I was just like, yeah, I just heard about this Fable game. I think I'm going to pick it up. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. It's, not the best game in the universe, but it was good enough that I'm pumped for the HD remake.
And I think for my recommendation at this point is for anyone is just pick up Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I think it's that style of game done really well, where
yes,
you have a giant world and you have free reign to do a lot of be good, be evil, whatever. And it has all that stuff that Fable kept trying to do, where making weapons, making armor, putting stuff together to make potions and stuff. I feel like that for me is the realization of what Fable was trying to do, and kept getting Molyneuxed. It kept missing the mark. Like our favorite saying about that is that game got Molyneuxed. It's unfortunate. But yeah, just pick up Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. It's like $10.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's awesome.
Bunch of great DLC that came out for it. Pick that up. It'll be like $30 total. Whatever.
Yeah. Have some fun.
And the last game I played is The Last of Us.
Ooh.
Got that Friday when it came out.
Yeah.
First off, holy crap, that game looks amazing. Like, just full stop, some of the best. Like, this is the time, like, when God of War 2 came out on the PS2, and you're like, man, that's what this console can do? Like,
even the first God of War.
Yeah, even the first God of War. Like, this is the time where consoles get really great, where you just look at these games and you're like, man, this is what these consoles can do. Somebody posted a thread on GAF the other day showing screenshots from the launch games of the PS3.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, we thought those games looked really great. Look
at Resistance. It looks
That
like
is
a mess.
disgusting.
Yeah, like some of those games just look like a hot mess, and like playing the games at the end of a gen is always sort of like, this is what this platform was supposed to be. This, like Last of Us, incredible looking. Incredible facial animations, amazing voice acting. I didn't know the same guy that played Booker DeWitt played the main character in Last of Us. Totally different voice.
Wow.
It's not like Steve Bloom, where it's like, that's Steve Bloom. Oh, he's playing Wolverine again. Okay. It's the rest of it is, the story's amazing. The music is incredible, done by some dude I've never heard of, but it's incredible, like, acoustic guitar work.
Yeah.
And the gameplay is okay. It's a really interesting survival horror game that is about a lot of sneaking / stealthiness. But we've been arguing about this a lot at work, because when the game came out, it was 10 out of 10s across the board from everyone. It was 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, from every single outlet. And I think it's really good, but part of my frustration with the game is it's really hard to get out of a bad situation once you've gotten into it. Because it's really incredibly rewarding when you can get next to a room full of enemies and take each and every one of them down silently and just clear the whole area without anyone knowing you're there. And that's super, super awesome. But if anything goes wrong, as soon as it goes wrong, I mean, the encounter is totally over.
Yeah.
I mean, the enemies are so much stronger than you are, and I'm playing on normal.
Yeah.
They're so much stronger than you are that it's really, really tough to get out of a bad situation without either damaging your character to such a serious degree or just getting overrun by enemies.
Yeah.
And I mean, in true survival horror fashion, it's there's nothing in the environment. Like there's nothing. The most bullets I've had is 7. Just which is great because it really encourages you to sneak around and use a bunch of physical attacks. But when it comes to trying to find healing stuff, I'm about, I think, 4.5 hours in. When it comes to finding healing stuff, that's nope. Just don't get hit.
Yeah.
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 No damage is good damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have to say I do really like the game. I think, I can't, I don't want to give it a review because that's not what we do. But
Yeah.
so far it seems like story-wise it probably is going to be at a 10 out of 10. Just the character interaction, like that's what I love about this generation, the facial animations. Being able to tell a story how we typically do by people's faces filling in the rest of the story.
Yeah.
It's not wooden characters with flapping lips anymore. It's actual genuine facial animations. And somebody, Toxic Joker in chat, is saying that the multiplayer is good too. I've heard nothing but great things about the multiplayer. It's another one of those games where it's like you didn't need it, but it's really good and it's kind of nice that it's there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping whenever I get a couple minutes of free time after this wedding we went to, I'm hoping to kind of I think I might put it down to easy and just kind of play the rest of it for the story because I don't really care about the sneaking and the fighting and all that stuff. Like I don't come to a Naughty Dog game for that stuff. Just like Uncharted. Like I don't want to fight a bunch of bullet sponges for a bunch of hours.
Yeah.
I want an Uncharted game that has no shooting in it. It's like it's almost like the further extreme of the classic Tomb Raider games, where you're not fighting anything hardly ever. You're just figuring out puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
I just want a bunch of places that have mirrors and one shaft of light. That's all I want. I'm not asking for a lot. But that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm going to try and finish this fight in Final Fantasy V while we're taking this break.
Sweet.
Because I'm actually
I'm drink.
Like almost 3 crystals down.
Sweet. Oh, I need water.
I'll be right back. Jeez.
Hi.
Hi. Still recording.
I gave you that.
Yep.
I was gonna close the door.
Oh. Okay. I
Yes,
was
sir.
going to go out and get some chips.
Oh, are you taking a break?
I am.
We had
Ugh.
Water's for suckers. It's lemonade time.
Yeah. Oh, well, I got signed out of Twitch, so.
Oh, fun. Yeah, I can't seem to get chat to load for some reason.
But the answer to the last question I saw on Twitch is Boston by miles.
What was the question?
Oh, who has the biggest game collection?
Oh, yeah. No question there.
His isn't nearly as focused as mine was. He was buying everything.
Yeah.
Like, I probably have more Sega stuff. So I think I have like 50 or 60 Dreamcast games.
Mm.
And I got a whole bunch of Sega CD and Saturn and Master System and Genesis games.
Yeah. See, I don't really collect as much as I buy the stuff I know I want to play. But like collecting to me is a completely separate hobby from playing games. I mean, they go hand in hand sometimes, but actually like keeping the stuff you like on hand and, keeping the stuff you actually play on hand, or, just going like, oh, I have 3 copies of Earthbound because it's Earthbound.
No,
I think
I buy every game that I buy. I have intention of playing. So and I just don't get rid of anything. So
yeah, I do the occasional purge. Well, I'll trade stuff in or like swap with friends or something. But I usually most of the stuff I buy I keep for a while at least.
Have you been reading Age of Ultron at all?
No, not at all. I haven't had time. I heard there was some big twist recently, you said? Like it ended on a real weird note or like a really huge revelation?
Do you want to know?
Yeah, I mean, spoilers tend to not ruin the journey for me, so make sure chat wants to know first.
Can you check that?
I'm going to try. Let's see. Do you want to load chat? Come on. I've got video, and I don't have chat. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I just keep getting a little spinny graphic. Yeah, sorry if anyone's asked any questions in chat. I can't see it.
Yeah, mine is.
Oh, hey, there we go.
Mine's messed
up. It just came back for me. All right. But yeah, what was the big thing?
Okay, so Sue Storm and Wolverine go back into time, and multiple times they keep messing up the timeline.
Like they
to
do.
The point where they broke reality.
Ooh.
And at the end, like the last panel, it was a character shows up that's got no business in the Marvel universe at all, and they never saw coming.
Squirrel Girl?
Who?
Squirrel Girl?
Oh, no. What company do you think would possibly, have a crossover with Marvel?
Oh, is it who I think it is?
Just throw something out.
Is it Spawn?
Close.
Ooh, who is it?
It's Angela. And she's pissed. The Hellspawn Slayer?
Oh.
The
Jesus.
chick with the red ribbon and the giant spear?
Oh. Jesus.
Like that was literally and I was like, what? I called Sean and I just blew up on it.
That's crazy.
Hey, Boston?
Yeah.
I gotta duck out at 6:30.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna get through releases and whatnot.
Okay.
The titles I have right now are sombreros and full bore running.
All right.
All right, let's clip to this next segment.
All right.
Maybe
do
we
it.
won't do emails or anything this week. Maybe we'll save them for next week.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I just got to get out to North Olmsted by 7. I figure we at least have a minimum of half an hour right now.
That's okay. I thought it was only 2, but it's 3 now. Or
Yeah.
one time.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yep, let's do it.
All right, ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got releases, downloadable games, Dungeons and Dragons: Chronicles of Mysteria for XBLA and PSN for 1,200 points and $15 or $15.
I'm really excited to play that. I just don't know where to pick it up on.
Yeah.
It actually looks like a decent D&D game for once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Well-
a really good hack and slash.
Yeah. Well, it's actually 2 different games. It's both arcade cabinets in one awesome game. It's totally worth the
And they're
$15.
both 4-player, right?
I
There's one
believe
2-player.
So.
I think there was a 2-player cabinet for the first one and a 4-player cabinet.
Okay.
But the second one was all like a 4-player cabinet.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a
I
2-player
think it was in
cabinet in that one.
I think it was in around the time when Gauntlet was popular and everything had to be 4-player.
Yeah.
And the most fun you can have for $10: Eat Lead: The Return of Matt Hazard,
Featuring the
on
vocal
PlayStation
stylings of
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett.
Fantastic game.
He's really good in that game because his
it's-
deadpan is perfect.
Nice.
That whole personification of that character was just so perfect. I think that game is so looked over.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 classics. One of my favorites, Castlevania: Lament of Innocence for $10.
That's a game that gets way more hate than it should.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a pretty good game.
It's a solid. Granted, you can stumble across the Vampire Slayer whip really early by accident,
Yeah.
which I totally did and cheesed the rest of the game.
It's really it's not a Metroidvania game. It's not a 2D 2D standard Metroidvania, but still really good for what it is. It's not Castlevania 64. I mean, that
No.
thing is an abomination.
Yeah.
No, and this was a step in the right direction. I think the better game of the two, the PlayStation, is Curse of Darkness.
Yeah.
But this one is fantastic.
Yeah, hopefully Curse of Darkness comes out next.
I hope so,
For sure.
PlayStation Plus members, Instant Game Collection, Saints Row 3 for the PlayStation 3, fantastic.
Yeah.
More people need to play that game. God Eater Burst for PlayStation.
It's weird. It's PSP and PS Vita game. I don't know how they did it, but
Well, I actually downloaded it. It works on the PlayStation Vita through the PSP emulator.
so
same
it's
thing that
an
runs.
actual PSP game.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
That happens to run on the Vita via the built-in emulation.
Nice, because I was thoroughly confused.
Yeah.
And for anyone else, we haven't talked about news stories for like the last 2 weeks or so, but Sony has made good on PlayStation Plus this entire month. There's XCOM, there's Deus Ex Human Revolution, there's Uncharted 3, there's Little Big Planet karting, there's Saints Row the Third. I mean, there's 4 other games for the Vita. I mean,
Really?
just go download everything.
Marquee titles too.
So pro tip for anyone that doesn't know much about PlayStation Plus or just joined it, purchase the games that are free, but don't download them, and you'll be able to re-download them forever. So if you purchase Saints Row the Third and you don't download it now, you can re-download it for free anytime in the future, as long as you have PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
you don't actually have to fill up your hard drive with all this stuff. You can just, quote unquote, purchase them for free and then
Yeah.
download them whenever you're ready.
Great.
And get XCOM. So good.
Yeah. Joe Danger 1 and 2 for PC.
Joe Danger.
Joe Danger. And Company of Heroes 2 for the PC. U.S. releases for the week of June 24th. God, I can't believe June's almost over. 2013, Game and Wario for the Wii U.
I don't know much about that.
Project X Zone for the thirds.
I'm purchasing that and I still don't know too much about it.
Yeah.
And the one game I am definitely picking up is for the Vita is Muramasa Rebirth.
I'm so excited for that game. There's now a button to jump instead of hitting up.
I feel like that's a game I totally missed on the Wii, and I am very excited to play it.
And they redid the graphics from the so Vanillaware always makes their graphics in 1080p no matter what platform they're making it on. So like Odin Sphere for the PS2, they could release in 1080p because that's what their graphics are done.
And that needs to happen. That game is fantastic.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Muramasa, they did with high-res graphics. So now that they're re-releasing it on Vita, not only is it going to be in higher fidelity, basically, but they took advantage of the colors on that screen, and it's just, God, it looks so good.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. And the Deadpool game finally comes out for the PlayStation 3 and 360.
Against all odds.
Yeah,
which
right.
I am completely torn on, and I will probably buy because it is Deadpool.
Yeah.
And the marketing, and the guerrilla marketing for it has been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to news stories here. We're going to sort of rush through some of these because a bunch of us need to go here shortly.
No.
Metal Gear Solid 5 to have fewer cutscenes. Kojima compares Metal Gear Solid 1 to 4 to movies, which, you know...
Yeah, that's actually
pretty fair.
It's an apt comparison considering Metal Gear Solid 4 is like 4 movies.
Yeah. He says MGS5 will be more like a TV series with episodes. He had to decrease the cutscenes due to the open-world nature of the game. That's kind of a bummer.
Really?
I kind of like the Metal Gear series being like this big like movie experience. You know, it's always this like over-the-top, you know, half-hour-long cutscene about some dumb dude managing to do some impossible thing, and then you fight him as a boss, you shoot him twice in the head, and he's done. You know, like, I've always kind of really liked that about the Metal Gear series. It's always been the best and the worst part of the MGS games, because, you know, you can finish MGS2 in, like, 4 hours at most if you're skipping the cutscenes. If not, like, it's a 20-hour game.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It's ridiculous.
I've always kind of really liked that about those games. It's always been the dumbest part of those games, but
Yeah.
I think it being an open world game and then focusing more on the gameplay like that, hopefully it will be a bigger game with the crazy specific Metal Gear stuff. You know, like Metal Gear Solid 2, if you shoot that parrot in that cage, not only is it shielded, but it sets off the alarm. You know, like, that's the sort of Metal Gear stuff that I really love. So hopefully they still keep that stuff going.
Mm-hmm.
And alongside that, Metal Gear Online is being developed at the same time as MGS5, and it's being created by the new LA studio, who I keep forgetting about. I think this is their first proper thing.
Yeah, it's the first thing they've done. It's the what is it? Kojima Production Studio in LA that they just announced the opening of. I think at E3.
Yeah, I think that was the whole big. God, what was that company's name? Remember when they showed off the Phantom Pain and had that other company's name in it?
Oh, like Moby Dick Studios or something.
Yeah, Moby Dick Studios. They were saying, "Oh, that's our new studio in LA," when we all knew, hey, that's awesome.
Kojima Productions. Yeah.
My real big hope is Metal Gear Online for MGS3 was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Metal Gear Online for MGS4 was not, because you had like 3 different logins for 3. You know, you couldn't just use the infrastructure for the PlayStation Network infrastructure.
Yeah.
I really hope that this time they just use the regular infrastructure, just tie it in XBLA and PSN, or Xbox Live and PSN, and just do that. Don't have a separate friends list, don't have any of this craziness, just don't mess with that.
Yeah.
You know, it already works, just let it work.
Yep. For sure.
It could be really good.
I hope it is.
Speaking of Saints Row the 3rd is going to have, and Saints Row the 2nd, is going to have mod support. So Volition, now that they have, been broken away from... Oh, he's not happy with that.
No, he's loving that.
Now that they've broken away from THQ, they're putting out mod tools for Saints Row the 2nd and 3rd. You'll be able to create clothing, vehicles, guns, NPCs, missions, and world geometries.
Yeah.
This could be the
This is the
craziest,
best thing
worst,
ever.
and best thing ever to happen to this game.
It's just going to make the game more normal, though. Like, can you really get much crazier?
I don't know. Like, if you
I
look at
would-
the stuff that people have done for Just Cause 2
Mm-hmm.
and GTA 4 on PC, like, if you allow people to do anything with your game, you get some really, really, really crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So I am super pumped, especially with Saints Row already being so insane
Yeah.
that I think if you let people create the dumbest stuff for the dumbest game, I think you can really get a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. It's going to be fun, though.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
super
be
pumped.
surprised if they recreate whatchamacallit, Saints Row 1 and 2 in the 3 engine.
Oh, I'm sure
Oh,
somebody will, like
I'm sure
day
someone
one.
will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great. I'd
Yeah.
love to play through that stuff.
Yeah.
Next news story here. Shadowrun returns coming July 25th with full editor tools.
Finally.
It was originally launched for June, and this is the one that has had a very rough Kickstarter, right? Or is that...
I think that's the Shadowrun Online. Shadowrun Returns has actually been pretty smooth. They had like the 19-minute gameplay video for, like 17-minute gameplay video
thought
for it.
this-
Same guys that are doing Wasteland.
Yeah, oh no, I think Wasteland is the... No. There was one I was thinking of. We were talking about it on PUP, where there's no loot. The DLC isn't coming out for everyone.
Oh, yeah, this might be that one.
Yeah, it's sort of some stuff that was kind of... No, it definitely is this, because Microsoft... Since Microsoft is the licensed owner of the Shadowrun name, they had to have them do a couple of specific things on their DRM-free version. Like, it doesn't auto-update. So every time there's a new patch, you have to re-download the entire game over again. You know, like a bunch of dumb stuff that isn't gonna be an issue on the Steam version, but sort of a bummer. It's coming out with includes all the campaign files to go with the editor. So, great. You know, like that's these sort of top-down RPG things. You know, the reason that people are still playing Neverwinter Nights 2, you know, because they can just mod the hell out of it and keep making new campaigns.
Yeah.
The Hannah wrote here, fun fact, including the campaign files was inspired by Jordan Weissman, the co-founder of Harebrained Schemes, the games developer, work on the ARG for Nine Inch Nails, Trent's album for Year Zero, which was stupid awesome.
Yeah.
Not that I'm
Like,
biased or anything.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And apparently Harebrained Schemes has spent every penny of the $1.9 million funding, the Kickstarter funding on creating the game. So
Yeah,
that's good. I like that transparency.
Yeah,
You know, they're saying, like, we took all of your money and we put it in the game.
Yeah.
Nobody bought a really
super
nice car.
pumped for this. Really pumped for this because I think it could actually go into Steam Game Night, especially with like user-created maps and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope it does well. You know, despite
Yeah.
a lot of the bad press that it's had. I really hope that it succeeds.
Yeah.
Next news story, speaking of a classic top-down RPG, Baldur's Gate Enhanced pulled over, quote, in contractual issues. An unnamed publishing partner has forced Beamdog to pull the Enhanced Edition from the Apple App Store. They cannot release a planned patch for the iOS or Android version until the matter is resolved.
Actually, I don't even think the Android version's out yet.
Yeah, I don't
Either,
think it is,
so-
so I don't think it can come out yet
Yeah.
until that's fixed. Apparently also stops the launch of Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition, which was allegedly well underway. That's really weird. I hate when this stuff happens. I hate when this contractual, you know, finagling BS happens where
Yeah.
a really old game that managed to come out can't come out anymore because somebody gets... Somebody
in the
has
pants,
something happen.
so to
Yeah,
speak.
somebody gets
Litigation. It's almost as bad as patent trolling.
dumb.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
No good. I was really looking forward to Enhanced Edition on Android, and who knows if I'll ever see it.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of something else that's no good, next news story here, Frostbite 3 games to be optimized exclusively for AMD cards. I thought we were done with this. We just had this TressFX thing that came out for all cards.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd go back to a PhysX thing. It's
Yeah.
dumb.
Who knows, man? But it seems like, and there was a second article somewhere that said, "Oh wait, no, it won't be, exclusively for AMD cards, but it still will be exclusively for AMD cards."
It won't be, but it is.
But it is.
Yeah.
Just let people use the hardware they want to use, man.
Yeah, NVIDIA's had a really hard couple of years in the graphics space.
And so is AMD.
Yeah.
AMD's doing terrible because no one's buying their processors, but they're buying their GPUs like gangbusters.
Yeah. Now you know why AMD bought ATI.
ATI.
Yeah.
That's all they got.
Yeah.
All right, let's blow through these next couple news stories here because we have a really big one here at the bottom. The Steam beta code scrapers have found a bunch of UI things saying that Steam might start some game sharing stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks to Lance Freeman in the forums for tipping the Hannah off on the news story. But there's a whole bunch of Steam UI _ join dialog _ blah blah blah, saying that there might be some stuff for shared game library and starting a new borrowing area and talking about your game isn't available because it's shared.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff. So it would be nice if Steam could do this.
It would be.
Because it would be nice if everyone else would do that. So
Yeah.
Right.
Valve has to do it first for everyone else to do it.
Yeah.
NVIDIA Shield coming June 27th with a price drop to $300. They say that feedback from gamers prompted the price drop. No kidding.
Really?
Oh, I wonder why.
I didn't know there was feedback. I hadn't heard anything.
Yeah.
Is that what criticism's called? Feedback?
Yeah, I think it's because you hadn't heard anything other than, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, no thanks. I'll spend that $300 to buy a new video card.
Yeah.
Probably from
Right.
AMD.
Yeah.
Zang. TVG, PSA, Xbox One, and PS4 games to remain at the $60 price point. So regrettably, no longer can I laugh at Amazon comments of, "I can't believe this game is Xbox PS4 $100." That's my only source of fun lately.
Yep.
Oh well. PS3 firmware 4.45 crashes consoles, maybe bricks some of them. Sony apologizes and pulls the firmware update.
Fantastic.
So this was actually a really cool firmware because it was supposed to allow you to turn off trophy notifications.
Nice.
Which, thanks, because that's I would really like that specific option in all consoles.
Yeah.
Like, I want to turn off those notifications, but not turn off all my other notifications. Because, like, you can do that on the 360, but you turn off all notifications for
Yeah.
everything. So people are like, I've done that before and forgotten about it. And people are like, join our game. Why isn't he accepting my friend request? Where is he? Why? I just want to invite him to chat. And I'm just like, oh, this game's fun. All right. And Borderlands. People are like, I want to play this game with you.
Yeah, I don't know how stuff like this is still happening this far into this console's life cycle. That like they're bricking consoles with a firmware update.
Yeah, like
Who did what? Who got fired?
got fired.
Give me their name. I want heads to roll.
Yeah, right.
All right, our last news story here before we have to go here. The big one from this week: Microsoft does a 180. Please, everyone, get their Xbox 180 jokes out of the way right now. Microsoft reverses their stance on 24-hour check-in, used games for Xbox One, but also drops some features as a result. So let's go over the high point here. System must do a one-time online check-in during initial setup. That seems reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm okay with that. No 24-hour connection requirement. No any online connection requirement for offline games.
Yeah,
That sounds fine.
Yes.
great.
No limits on sharing games works just like pretty much every console that's ever existed. You can lend, resell, and share your games by handing a disc to someone or handing it to GameStop and selling it back.
Yes.
Whatever. Totally fine. Users no longer required to store games online. That seems fine.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll even be able to. Honestly,
it would be
No,
a
I think
bummer.
they nixed that. Like that hatchet seemed to come down pretty quickly on on a lot of some
Yeah.
features, good or bad.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it seems like most of their online stuff has just been cut out. Like the 10-person family, gone. Online game sharing, gone.
On
Which is kind of a bummer. I would like to
Yeah.
have my cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Which I don't feel like is totally unreasonable, but okay. Disc must be in the system to be played. Fine. That's
Fine,
reasonable.
I guess.
Digital
I don't
versions
know.
of games are still available day and date with physical copies. Great.
Cool.
So we'll still have the digital versions, which would be kind of great if we could still share them like originally planned, but fine.
Slightly less great now.
Yeah, slightly less great, but not so anti-consumer. Not so
Yeah.
pro-publisher as it was before. And cloud processing will still be a big focus. Um, I really respect Microsoft for reversing this in the face of such strong consumer feedback. I think is how NVIDIA called it.
Yeah.
But I really hate that they, like Knob said, the hatchet came down really strongly and just said, well, if you want this, you're not getting nothing. It's
Yeah.
just going to be like the 360. You want
Yeah.
better stuff? Well, maybe you should have shut up about it.
Yeah,
Um,
I kind of wish they would have, if they had gone from the very beginning with an opt-in program for stuff like this,
Oh, sure.
for like gold
Yeah.
members, like, hey, you can opt into this, but there is some stronger DRM. Just weigh your options, do what you want to do.
Yeah, turn on game sharing for your library, but
Yeah.
you'll have to deal with this stuff.
Yeah,
I don't think-
I'd be fine with that.
I think
I'd be
everybody
fine with an
would be
opt-in
okay
version
with
of that.
Yeah, because like that if that's what I keep talking about lately is if they could have explained that the Xbox One is making a marketplace like Steam is, and you don't have to have to check in every day, but you have to log in once a day to gain access to your online library. Fine.
Yeah.
Spin it a little bit. That's why you have a marketing department.
Yeah.
Like
I think even if they would have had it through the gold paywall, like
Sure.
those features, I think would have been more acceptable than just dropping it. Boom, you're
you're
no
a gold
chance.
member and you want to share your game library. Great. Here are the terms. Here are the stipulations. Turn it on. Turn it off. Whatever.
I think more people have been okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just I think that's the big thing in any of this privacy stuff is have it be opt-in.
Yeah. Exactly. Default
'Cause-
off. Opt in.
Because that family sharing thing seemed very, very cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would have totally used that. My girlfriend and I
Yeah.
would have completely used that because we would have bought one copy of that game for most things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. The thing I feel really badly about with this news story is the engineers, the programmers, the QA departments that made this infrastructure that
Yeah.
at the last minute, because it's June, but this console is just coming out in a couple of months. They have to rip out and redo this entire infrastructure that they've spent probably years making. And I'm not exaggerating. It's probably been 3 years.
At least.
I think those are the people I feel really badly about, that they put a lot of time, a lot of good time, and a lot of quality effort into making an infrastructure that sounded really cool if you could spin it correctly.
Yes.
And their bosses and the mouthpieces for Microsoft did a poor job of selling it.
I
So
really
now they
think
have to
it's on the
reverse it.
marketing department and the executives.
Yeah.
That's really who it's on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just
That's sad.
It's
I mean,
a super
from that point, I mean, there's a lot of hard work that went into it, and for it just to get just blind hatchet. It was
throwing
pretty
the
much
baby out with the
right
bathwater.
on the line of everything these people complained about and everything they wanted.
Yep.
You know what? We're fine. You want your 360 again? Here you go. It's just
I mean,
bigger and looks cool.
it's almost the literal definition of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's like, well, fine, you don't want this stuff, you don't get anything else either,
Yeah.
and that sucks. So,
does.
real quickly before we have to go, are you guys going to purchase? Probably not on day one, but are you a little bit warmer about purchasing an Xbox One now?
I was
I'm a
still gonna
little
play-
colder.
Colder, really?
Yeah, I mean, the more I looked at it, the more after E3 I looked at it, I was like, you know what? I know not everyone's on the side of the fence of the Xbox One, but I'm okay with some of this stuff.
Right.
I'm especially because of the family sharing plan, and I think the more I read about it, the more I realized this isn't going to be locked to just your console. This is going to be available to people that aren't on like just your console at home.
10 other people.
10 other people anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing people didn't understand about that, is that like family was just the worst word they could have used for that.
Yeah, it should have been game library sharing.
Yeah.
Share it with 10 people. Boom.
Yeah,
I can
and
understand
had they marketed that properly, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm upset with their marketing team. Is more.
Yeah. Knobs, how about you?
You know what? I was going to be the one out of the three that was going to pick it up anyway. And I didn't have problems with it because I think a lot of the issues didn't affect me directly because of where I am and what stage of my life I'm in.
Right.
So it wasn't a lot of those issues didn't really raise as many red flags as it did for your 16 to 20-year-old, 25-year-old people that are cash strapped.
Yeah. The 18 to 34 market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where like I don't really fall into that, but I thought the pros of a lot of like you had to dig to find what was good about it.
Yeah.
And once you started realizing, all right, things started making sense. Like, you know what, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
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 But I'm disappointed. But there's a lot more 18 to 34-year-olds playing video games than the latter that would have really taken advantage of it.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to hold out longer for a price drop in this case.
Yeah. I'm still going to get a PS4 day one. But I think I've moved up my purchasing for an Xbox One. Because if my girlfriend and I can share games, like that's my primary thing.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I can buy one copy of a game and then share that between the two of us. That's incredibly, incredibly important for us.
Yeah.
Because we'll buy 2 consoles. We'll spend the money up front to do that. I'd be more than willing to spend $1,000 to buy 2 Xbox Ones. We're spending $800 plus a bunch of games to buy a PS4 on launch day for 2 of us.
Yeah.
But because I can share those games between the 2 of us, so we buy a copy of Watch Dogs, we can both play it, but we're only buying 1 copy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I don't necessarily know if I'll be getting an Xbox One day one. I sort of need to look at what the launch games are. If there's a bunch of really great launch games, I think I could be talked into it. I think my Toxic Joker in chat I think is bringing up a really good point and why I'm still sort of a little uncomfortable. He's saying nothing is obviously concrete with them, and I think that's where I'm starting to get really worried. Is they come out with this big thing 2 weeks before E3, they come out with even worse news during E3, and then a week later they reverse it. So where is my confidence as a consumer saying, well, I can pre-order an Xbox One now, and I know exactly what I'll get day one.
You don't.
And I don't. And I would be willing, no lie, to save a bunch of money between now and when it comes out. I think they're both coming out November-ish. To buy both day one. But where's the benefit for me right now to get an Xbox One on day one, other than an exclusive achievement?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're actually not going to do news story or emails or tweets this week. We are completely out of time. We've been talking too much about all this stuff. So real quickly, you can find everything on tvgp.tv. Email us at tvgpfans@gmail.com. And everything else is on the right-hand side of the page. We got to go. We'll see you all next week.
All right, bye.
Peace.
All right, let's do titles real quick.
Cool. What do you got, Nubs?
I hit sombreros and full bore running.
Sombreros. I've got Peggle Flow, Holy S Kill Streak, Mystic Apple, and All the Way Platinum.
Yeah, I got All the Way Platinum as well. I'm a fan of that one. I've got Massive Team Killing, Pre-Game Peggle, Peggle Mojo, Streaky Peggler, Crazy Tank Knight, Full Block Shutdown. I've never played that with people. All the Way Platinum, Running Off of Cliffs, Falling into Pits.
I didn't even realize that rhymed.
Kept getting Molyneuxed. no damage is good damage, mirrors and one shaft of light, and consumer feedback.
Consumer feedback. I kind of like Mystic Apple or All the Way Platinum.
I'm big on all the way platinum.
All the way platinum.
All right, let's do that one.
Sweet.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 296 for June 24th, 2013. All the Way Platinum.
Go big or go home.
Nanomachines.
Nanomachine.
All right, let's stop recording.
All right.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for watching us live, joining us in the chat. Sorry we got to cut out early. We didn't get to your questions and whatnot, but send them in. We'll get to them next week. We'll have a little bit more time then. We'll have an extra long episode next week.
95?
Sounds good.
296.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, see you, peeps.